Alright guys, so it's the day of the bag lights. We're going to stick them there, and let me show you the lights. Try not to make this too long. These are going to be the lights. Got another video on them. It's them. They got a control box that goes with them. And this is the package that came in. So it's actually NBWDY is the name of the company. Of course, China. So NBWDY. And they're like 8 inches long, I believe. So that's what we're going to use. Still got those grips I hadn't done anything with. Pause this a second to show you what we're going to do on the wiring end of it. Of course, to remove the seat, for anybody that doesn't know, you got to use the key, turn it, push down at the same time, because this is actually your lock, so it all goes together. Also, not a bad idea to lubricate that occasionally. Maybe a little WD-40, some grease, something in there. Alright, so we got the seat off. So I think what I'm going to do, I don't think I'm hooking up the signals on that thing, because it's just typically a nightmare. I think I'm just going to tap into the trunks. I believe might be the easiest way. So we're just going to go after, we're going to use posi taps because I love posi taps. I think we've talked about that before. Now, of course, the trunk's going to be one that I hadn't pulled all the tape off of. We're either doing the trunk, or we might just go ahead and do it over here. I'm not sure. But it's going to be the blue and the red. The red's going to be your constant running light. The blue is going to be your brake light. One more thing with these lights, and we'll probably get into it later. They give an option. There's a lot of different ways you can wire them up, actually. There's a lot of different ways. And actually, they're pretty good because they've actually listed a lot of it here. So you've got the red, the white, you got a blue, you got a green, you got a what is that, violet, and then you've got a green and yellow. Now one of these will give you a solid brake light, and one of you will give a flashing brake light, strobing brake light. My other bike I'm strobing, and I've had, I think, good luck with it. I don't know if it annoys people, but what it does is it pulsates. The rest of my lights are solid, and those actually pulsate, so I might stick it with that. Not sure yet. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, so guys, these, sometimes you'll get lucky, you'll get some good tape with these things, and sometimes you don't. I didn't get lucky. So what I've had to do is, this is Gorilla Tape. I put this on like yesterday or the day before, and hopefully we'll get better stick with this. Another thing is a heat gun's probably going to help you out on this deal. The plan is we're just going, where can I get a good shot? There's a bolt right here that gives us a good starting position. I'm just going to use that bolt for the very end on both sides. We're going to bump up on it and just run them out from there. That way we're definitely going to be same distance, you know, everything's going to line up pretty good. So that's going to be a little cheat. But I'm going to go ahead and pull this plastic off and get the heat gun ready, and I'm going to apply. Wire sides going that way. Like I said, we're just going to hit that bolt, and then we're just going to bend them easy. These are bendable, but don't be crazy bending, be easy bending. When you heat that stuff up, it'll surely make it a lot easier. I've got my lid open, and what I'm doing is I'm just going right at the bottom there of that lip to keep it straight. And just a little bit of holding time here and there. I just pull a little bit of tape at a time. I've stopped this tape right there where my thumb is. There's the tape still. So we're just going to make sure that this really does what I want it to do. And like I said, we're starting right there at that bolt. So we just butted right up against there. So I'm going to hold this about a minute probably, and then we'll finish him off. Alright guys, we got one of them on. So as you can see, we're right below that lip, kind of riding right along that lip, just pushed up on it. And like I said before, we're right there at that bolt. This is pretty much the starting point. Other side will be the same way. We're going to have a uniform look, because you really can't mess this up, because you're just simply going with that lip. And now that's going to close just fine, and you're going to have visibility. A little bit of a close up, but for the most part you're going to see those lights. With a closed lid, this is basically what you're looking at. Hold on. So that's that. I guess that's just the bag, the way that it works. It kind of creeps up here, a little bit higher there, but I can live with it because the other side should look the same exact way. Alright, so let's do the other one, then we'll worry about some wiring. So guys, there you go. We got the other side on. The main thing is just start, like I said, with the first one, go half, and then pull the rest of the tape. Heat it up a little bit in the bend. Don't go too strong on the heat, because you will burn it, but once you get it leveled out, heat it again, try to make it conform to the shape that you're trying to make plastic go. Plastic is nothing but basically oil, and as long as you don't get it too hot, you're going to be fine, but just don't burn it. And that's it. We're right on that lip on this side as well. We started right there at that screw. Now there are a couple of different ways you can wire, okay? We didn't talk about this. The main thing at this point, is that we need to concentrate on having a disconnect, okay? Because one day you're going to want to pull these bags off, so it's very important that we get a disconnect in here. Now, you could go to the rear fender and you can hook in with your lights, your brake lights back here, and your signal. You'd have everything in here. That's not the way I did it with the other bike. This bike, it'd be still a problem. If I would have done it when I did the light bar, it wouldn't be that bad. I could have just tagged them all. But I think we're just going to do it the normal way that I've always done it. So that's going to be the next step. But for now, it's looking like everything's pretty much where it's supposed to be. So let's get to the rest of it. Alright guys, so I guess we've got everything mounted. I think that's where I left y'all. What I'm going to use are these 3-pin connectors. These are screw together type waterproof connectors. I usually use just the pull apart types with the tabs that you just unhook. But these are kind of different for me. But what it's got is it's got the nut that'll screw it together. So I'm going to try to get these wires ready to go. I'm pulling back a little bit of the jacket that's on them, so that get them wired up and ready. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Alright guys, so we're back over here at the bike. I'm going to try to figure out how much I want to have of this wire and how I'm going to wire them. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let them run up this frame bar right here. We're going to hide them, and we're going to place this box. Find that box. We're going to try to drop this box underneath our seat frame somewhere that is out of the way. Just got to figure out where. Might have to come from this side and do it. I'm not sure. We're going to make it work though, don't worry. Probably just going to Gorilla Tape it down and just have it out of the way. By going up under here, you're not going to have any clearance issues or anything. The seat, nothing's going to be in the way because you'll be up under the bar. So just going to measure this out, see exactly where I'm thinking I want to be for my disconnect, because it's very important we get the disconnect on this side, so that way when we want to take these bags off, we don't have a problem, and we can get here and disconnect it. right in that area. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to measure it, we're going to cut it, and then we're going to start putting the box together, or at least tape it down. Alright guys, I had to make a run to Harbor Freight, get some heat shrink. This is 1/4 inch heat shrink. So what I'm going to do, I should have done this to begin with. But to try to, you know, hide some of this blue and stuff, not make it so obvious, I'll try to heat shrink just a little bit on here. Try to keep it all black. So that's what I'm going to do right in a second. Alright guys, so pretty much heat shrinked. Probably stopped somewhere right along in here, kind of. I should have hold the rest of it. It's pretty much just for coloring, so it doesn't look, you know, like that running down my saddlebag. So if you can do that before you get to this point, you'll probably come out a lot better. I could have taken the saddlebag off, but I really don't want to go to that much trouble. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and try to get our connector on. You might still be able to trim a little bit off of this end. See how this is going to turn out. If I want to go kind of low with it, I guess. Probably somewhere along in here. We'll see where it's at. But here are the connectors. So I got this one, and this one will be a match. So this is probably go on the top part. I'm probably going to attach this one right here for the base. That should be pretty good. That's the 3-pin though. 3-pin. So you have a ground, running, and a brake. So that's where we're at, guys. So guys, I've stripped about 1 inch back. I like extra because I'm going to be using these solder, heat shrink solder type pieces. And the way that these work is just basically you put these on the wire. You're gonna put the wires together, put this back over your bare metal spot, heat it up, and there's going to be solder right there in the center, and that's going to solder out, and then you'll have glue on both ends, and it should keep water out as well, and then you have a secure connection. Had pretty good luck with those things. Alright guys, so we're at the other end again. Took about 1 inch off of this end as well. I put some heat shrink over the wire already, so once I get done, I can heat shrink that down. Because once you connect it, of course, you won't be able to get heat shrink on it. So I'm going to use these connectors like we talked about. These little connectors, and heat shrink them down, and then we're going to start on the next part. And that's actually getting it closer to the wiring up here. Alright, so we're together. He's hooked there. Just going to heat him down, and that is just going to seal him up. Alright, so one thing I didn't show y'all is this heat shrink right here is a 5/16 piece. And I had it way at the end down here while I was putting all that together. So I had the 5/16 way down here, and I had the 1/4 inch way at the other end. So now things have really gone well. This 5/16 fits over all that we just put together. So we're just going to heat shrink it just a little. I mean, you don't have to heat shrink, just enough that it'll kind of stay in place. And looks pretty good. Alright, so now we're starting to work on the other side for what we just did on the throttle side. We're on the clutch side now. We haven't finished the throttle side yet, but this is the 5/16 heat shrink that I just dropped on there. As you can see, it's just loose. So after we put everything together, we can just slide that up and cover everything up. So this is the other side. Everything's together now. So what we're going to do is slide this, just like we did on the other side that I didn't video, but slide that. Can't do it with two hands, but slide it, and we're going to cover it up, and then we're going to heat it. That red one's a little bit longer than what I would want, that wire, but hopefully we can kind of manipulate it in there easy. Alright guys, so this is where we are now. We're going to try to hook the box end up to what we've got running down. Now this is, after I thought about it a little bit, there's a possibility maybe if you're doing this, maybe rather than trying to aim for up here, maybe aim for what you need to disconnect way back further. Might make it easier, I don't know. But it's very important that you line up your wire with the distance that you're going to want to have. Because what I'm trying to avoid is I'm trying to avoid having to zip tie anything that is going to be related to the bag coming off. I hope you understand what I'm saying. I want all of that to be loose, so when the bag comes off, I just disconnect and it all comes off. But if I've got to go down there and I've got to cut zip ties before I can pull the bag, I don't like that. So maybe doing it way back here somewhere for the disconnect might be a little bit better. But this is what we're looking like right now. We're going to be in this spot, and I'm having to loop it a little bit more than what I would want to. But you don't want it to ever get in that belt for sure, and you don't want it to get in your tire, but definitely not that belt either. Alright, so this is where I'm at. We're going to go ahead and hook these together, and then we're almost done. We'll be working on the other side and then the other end. Alright guys, so looks like this side we're good. It's all hooked together. Kind of already tucked it because I kind of forgot about y'all. Still got to do the other side. Probably not going to go into great detail other than what we've already done. Still got to trim this, and then we'll have to splice or tap. Not splicing, we're just going to tap. Hate to do it anyway, either way, but that's the only way I know to get any power to these lights. So, I mean, it's not the worst, but that's not part of it. That's a zip tie. We've definitely got to pull it in a little bit. I'm gonna have to manipulate it a little because that is a little extra more than I want it to be there. I think I lost my loop. Yeah, we lost the loop. So what I'm gonna have to do is somehow or another get it to loop kind of like this, and that way we keep it pretty tight. If we can just keep the pressure here, then it goes up. But again, very important, get them lengths right. For me, it's difficult. I don't know how other people do it, you know, if it's easy for other people or hard, but for me it's difficult. Alright, so now we're rolling to the other side, and we're almost done, thank God. Guys, this thing isn't recording at the right, just recording portrait, not landscape. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, if I flip it, I flip it. If I don't, I don't. Alright, so everything's done. As far as the back end, the only thing left to do is to take the two, one, and we got 3 wires to put together. We got a brake, we've got a running light, and we've got a ground. So, if you remember back there, we had 3 wires. So basically what those 3 wires, I'm gonna put my fingers up, 3 wires were running light and brake, and then you have a turn signal, which would be wire 2, and then you have a ground, which is wire 3. So running and brake are doing the same thing because it's just going to modulate it higher in the box. It's going to make it higher intensity. Yes, sounds good to me. I'm making it up as I go, you know, sometimes. So anyway, everything's together. We're going to do that, and we should have some working lights, okay? Wish us luck. Alright guys, looks like we are definitely coming up on the end here. Got our tag back on. I actually put it back on. I look all professional, don't I? Alright, so what we're going to do, let's see if I got you in this shot. Red would be running light. White would be braking light solid. Blue would be braking light strobe. Green is a right scanning signal. Yellow is a left scanning signal. and green and yellow would be a double side scan. I don't know how that would look. Alright, so if we ever want to just add the turn signals, it would be green and yellow. So for the clutch side, we'd be turning right, so we'd want the green. For the throttle side, the yellow would go on the clutch side. That would be a left turn. So that's it. So you got a solid red option, and you've got a strobe red option. So let's get them together. And now comes the fun part, and it looks like this is totally videoing the wrong aspect. Posi taps, and no turning back once you do this, huh? So that's a posi tap. Love these things, and the reason I love them is because, let's pause this. See if we can get a shot of this without me losing them. Get it focused. So that's going to go on the bottom of the wire right here, the black piece, right? It's going to hold it. The red is then just a pin needle, basically. The contact is going to screw into it. These things last so much better than those old type of taps. And then the wire just screws in there on the contact as well. Nice invention. They are expensive. Alright, looks like he's recording us in the wrong direction again. It's done. It is done. We're going to get a video of it here in a minute. That didn't turn out quite as well as I wanted to. Had to swap over to some different posi taps. Kind of thinking that when I do that run turn modulator, trailer modulator, I'll probably keep these same taps, and I'll just change up the strobing brake light that's on here and just run it all together, and I'll have turn signals on the bags and everything. That's what I'm kind of leaning towards. But it's all together, guys. It's I think it's okay. Could have done better, but is what it is. So now I just got to hide some wires, and hopefully we'll get a video of it. Alright guys, so we're done. They actually work. I'm going to show you a video. Maybe when it gets a little bit darker we'll run through it, but that's them. Them on the rear. You saw how it went together wiring. We finally did something like this for our connector. Still got a little bit of looseness back there. I'm thinking double-sided tape, and I'm just gonna push it down and hold it. Connector wise, we're looking pretty good. Got a zip tie right there, so when you unhook right here, the whole bag's coming. It's not tied to anything else. That's the only thing that's zip tied right here. Pretty easy to pull it off, and hopefully we can get a video here soon. I'm all by myself, so until I get somebody here that can hold the camera while I push brake or it gets dark, one of the two. But kind of like, look, took longer than I wanted it to take, though. I'll promise you that. Between that bar and that's a lot of hours. Doesn't seem like it would take a lot of time, but for me, for some reason, it does. Alright guys, so I got one more video to go with this. One more, and we'll make a movie out of all the clips. And that'll be that. So until the next clip, that's all for now. MEtricoil.com. Go get some oil while you wait on the next clip. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and knock this out of the way. We're going to see what this looks like. Might not be able to do the brakes, but definitely get the running lights, so that way I can move on. This GPS, I don't know if I said anything in the beginning of the video. I wanted to lower that a little bit. So we're going to try to lower that ball. So I'll at least turn it on, right? So at least in on, we can see. So there you go. All lit up. Not bad. And of course they'll flash. Let's see if we can get it. I don't know if one-handed I can do it or not. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. See how talented I am. See if y'all catch it. This is excellent camera work. So there you go. Trying to look for the other side. Where's it at? Okay, there it is. So that's the flashing mode with the brakes. Not bad. Not bad. All right. That's it. MEtricoil.com. Go get some oil. Go get some oil. It's been a long day. Go get some oil. If you're thinking about doing that, Amazon. I think we went through all that at the beginning of the video. Okay. Now I'm going to work on this GPS. Okay. See you later. MEtricoil.com.